So let's get into it. So what I'm gonna do is break down the lyrics, and I'm gonna let you guys know when Jay Z is speaking. I don't want to put the actual freestyle up because I don't want to get hit with any type of copyright or any, you know how that go, right? I'm not sure. His lawyers probably just striking everything, but so here are direct lyrics, and we're gonna break it down part by part. Let's go. He started out with a banger. So the first part, he's talking about the Target boycott. He said, "I'm a target. Whom don't aim miss their target. No exclusive. They only doing what Apple and Walmart did. You shopping at Amazon or you boycotting. You posting on Instagram. That's Meta, boy. Stop it. You know Google owns YouTube. You picking and choosing, politicking as usual." So for people who don't understand why he took those shots, right? Okay, for one, he's been getting a lot of backlash online because there was this rumor that went around that he did an exclusive partnership with Target to release his album. So Jay Z is celebrating the 30-year debut of his album Reasonable Doubt. That is the album that made him famous. That is the album that made him rich. That is the album he started Rockefeller with Dame Dash and Kareem Big Burks. That's the album that is Covenant, and that was a big dispute because Dame Dash still kind of owned 33% of it, and they be going having a back and forth. So this is a big deal in the Sean Carter Jay Z atmosphere, in his catalog, and this is the only one that he doesn't own 100% of. Now there it was like a dispute with Dame Dash, and the state of New York got it, and maybe he got it back. I don't know, but this is the 30th anniversary. So this is why this is a big deal. Now he released this through different retail partners. So he said Apple, Walmart, and Target got this vinyl release, which I believe sold 30 or 40,000 copies his first week, which is crazy for an album that's been out 30 years. But it's an iconic classic album and symbolizes Jay Z's whole career. And in the freestyle, again, he says, "I'm a target." This is the lyrics from the freestyle. "I'm a target. Whom don't aim, miss their target. No exclusive. They only doing what Apple and Walmart did." So he's basically saying, y'all are cap. I'm not doing an exclusive rollout through Target. Apple and Walmart got this. Now, obviously, Apple has Apple Music, Target, and Walmart are some of the largest, if not the two largest, retail brands out there. So I could see how Apple, Target, and Walmart did get this, but because Target got it, it looks like an exclusive. Now, Target is getting a lot of backlash from the black community because of the whole boycott, um, Target movement that was started by the young lady in Minnesota. I actually forgot her name, but she started this boycott Target because they ended their DEI initiatives because Donald Trump got in office and wrote an executive order saying anybody who is still pushing and doing DEI is going to be on his hit list. A lot of companies pushed back, but Target was not one of them. Now um Target is getting a lot of backlash because prior to this, Target was the DEI darling. They had LBGTQ aisles. They had the whole like a black owned aisle for hair care and skin care and all of that. They were diversity darlings. They monetized diversity till they couldn't monetize it no more. And then the minute Donald Trump gets in office, they say, "Oh, we're getting rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion." So a lot of people felt like Target, y'all are frauds because y'all was the one monetizing and pushing this a lot. They even the black community people calling it Target, right? Whatever. And I personally believe if Target continued to do what they said they were going to continue to do without having a diversity and inclusion technically on the books, that was fine in my book because I don't believe these corporate companies are going to be my savior anyway. So that's my stance on it, but other people didn't feel that way. So a lot of people who shopped there and who really coveted Target, they felt like they were betrayed because here you are when it's all going good, You taking money from us. You getting a bunch of money. You marketing our products and looking like the diversity darling. Soon as Donald Trump come in, you don't even give any pushback. So that is why when Jay-Z's name was attached to that, it looked bad because Jay-Z has a reputation in the streets for when corporate America needs a black face, quote unquote, they do a partnership with Jay-Z. And he got this reputation from the Nets. Remember, he did the Nets partnership, got paid 10 or 20 million dollars, and a lot of people felt like, oh, they only partnered with Jay-Z to get a bunch of those people to sell their brownstones and build the Nets stadium there in Brooklyn, and now they're the Brooklyn Nets transferring from the New Jersey Nets. This is what the streets say. This is not what I'm saying. I personally don't have a dog in the fight. I'm from Detroit. I'm not from New York, and I understand why a lot of New Yorkers felt that way because some of my roommates throughout college, some of my roommates when I moved to Atlanta were from New York, and they had a different perspective than somebody as a Jay-Z fan looking on the outside looking in. My grandma didn't have to sell her brownstone. My uncle didn't have to sell his condo. So I wasn't personally affected by it. I was happy to see Jay-Z partnering with the NBA because I'm like, oh man, he was a part owner. That's all they kept talking about. But then when you really looked at the numbers, it wasn't adding up for a lot of New Yorkers. So that is why Jay-Z had that reputation. Okay, so Jay-Z pushed back on the deal. He said it wasn't an exclusive deal with Target. It went through Walmart and it went through Apple. And then he also talked about the hypocrisy, right? So let's go back to the lines again. He said, these are the Jay-Z lyrics. I'm a target whom don't aim miss their targets. No exclusive. They only doing what Apple and Walmart did. You shopping at Amazon or you boycotting. You posting on Instagram, that's meta, boy, stop it. Google owns YouTube. You picking and choosing politics as usual. Also, that's a good line. Google owns YouTube. So Jay-Z is famous for when he had Tidal, he bought Tidal, him and Beyonce, in order to promote Tidal, they took all their music off of YouTube. You guys probably don't remember this, but as a Jay-Z fan and as somebody who supported Tidal when they was doing it, Jay-Z pulled all his stuff off of YouTube. So that was kind of like a stab at YouTube again, saying like Google owns YouTube. So like y'all acting like these companies that y'all are using to criticize me are doing something for y'all and they're not. So that's the portion where I did understand the hypocrisy. I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're on Twitter that's owned by Elon Musk criticizing Jay-Z for doing a corporate deal. It's kind of like, it's not really, the math is not really math. So I do understand from that perspective why people would feel like, or why he would feel like y'all are, the hypocrisy is extremely high because y'all holding me to a standard, quote unquote, Jay-Z, that y'all don't hold these corporate entities to the same standard. And from a community standpoint, I can see how people can say, well, they're not black. They never, they're not black. So you are black. You understand the struggle. You came up in the streets from Brooklyn. You was in the Marcy Projects. You made it out. You became a multi-billionaire. So they never went through the struggle and never claimed to go through the struggle. Your whole raps is about making it out of the struggle. So you should understand what your moves that you're making, how that affects the community versus these big companies. But that's a stretch because, again, once these people get in these corporate offices and once these people making hundreds of millions and billions of dollars on corporate jets, on golf course with their buddies and all of that, they lose touch, right? As a person who hasn't made billions of dollars, I've done well for myself. I'm from the east side of Detroit. I'm from the streets. I'm from all of that. Again, I went to college. I worked in corporate America. You start to lose touch and you start to not want to do some of the things you used to do when you came up, right? So I can understand from a little bit. Obviously, I'm not a billionaire riding on private jets, but I'm a person who's changed my life, and a lot of people look at me as hey, you don't hang out in the hood no more. You're not in the trap house playing a game like you used to. What are you doing? Have you changed? And I'm like, yeah, I can't be in the trap house anymore, bro. Like, bro, I can't be in the trap playing the video games with you. You're selling coke. Like, I'm not trying to go to jail. I understand, like, when they come in here, they're gonna bust both of us. And I'm not built for that. I'm not about that life. So I can understand that from that perspective, but people don't want to hear that. When you black and you doing business with corporate America, people already put that sellout tag on you. And that's kind of unfortunate because basically all of our black entertainers and athletes are going to be considered sellouts at one point because they gonna take corporate dollars. That's just how it happens. But also, the same people who criticizing you about taking corporate dollars work for corporations. They're at their job working for companies that are criticizing celebrities and rich people for working with companies. So there is a lot of hypocrisy there. Thank you guys for watching. I want to make a deal with you. On my end, I'm going to produce high quality, informative content for you to enjoy and learn from. And on your end, you're going to subscribe down below to the podcast. Now we have a 50-50 deal to build this independent media company together. And if you want to invest with us and ensure our success, subscribe down to the YouTube membership. It really, really helps us hire journalists, hire videographers, and do the investigative journalism and independent journalism that you love and that you learn from.